Hello, and welcome to my first Blender 3.2 tutorial. We're going to be modeling, UV unwrapping, texturing, adding a material, shading, and rendering an image, plus a rendered animation with cycles. But before we go on ahead with the tutorial, I'll explain the details we see in most of these references. The Oreo seems to have a textural seam around the edge, so we'll try to replicate that for the third or second tutorial, but for the first, we're going to explain the tools that you will most often use in Blender, such as the rotation, translation, scale axis that will be equipped.
To undo an action in Blender, the hotkey is Ctrl-Z. Cursor mode is under Select mode. You can use the cursor mode to select the cursor, the big red dot on the cube, and drag it around the scene. To thoroughly explain why the cursor is so important, it redirects your mesh to where you place the cursor around the scene and stays there. A hotkey for moving the cursor would be Shift and then left click. Move, aka Transform mode in Blender, is specifically designed to move the mesh, aka object, with the Z, Y, and X axis, the three axes of the world. You can also move the mesh by pressing G, grab, on your keyboard, then pressing X, Y, or Z to reenact the axis. Rotate was designed to specifically rotate the mesh around its X, Y, and Z axis. You can also rotate the mesh by pressing R. And bam! You can rotate your mesh. Scale was designed to make the mesh bigger/smaller. Scale can also be used to make an object wider or taller. Hotkeys to scale an object would be to press S or to press N to make this pop-up appear. The menu's scale is at the bottom of the directory. You can play with that menu if you like. Transform mode is used to make scaling, rotating, and moving a mesh easier and faster. Though it's not really that effective. Not trying to be rude, though it's probably the most unnecessary mode to use. Annotate, not as the name suggests, is a mode that's used to make ideal procedures easier by writing it down in the scene. It's usually used for measurement or demonstration, but it's not very necessary for a beginner's tutorial. Measure is used to calculate the scene or mesh's surface area, though it's not very necessary for a beginner to know. Add cube is used to, that's right, add cubes around the scene. Its purpose is to make architectural buildings or an abstract environment for games, 3D models, etc. Instead of going to the top of the scene to press Add menu, press Shift then A to get the pop-up version. There's a bunch of stuff that we didn't learn in this tutorial. But guess what? You're only going to use 20–30% of the stuff that Blender has to offer anyway. Just the usual and helpful stuff that will benefit you. But in the upcoming weeks, I'm going to explain more of the stuff that you will most often use in Blender. Have a great day.